Wrestling was a way of life for one college athlete until a day at practice took a wrong turn. Tonight, I introduce you to one competitor who was forced to undergo surgery. Northwestern College Red Raiders Wrestling. That's Lincoln Siebert assisting on the mat.
I've wrestled probably about 10 years and just love it and love the grittiness and just the hardness of it.
Wrestling is in his blood. He moved from Wyoming to wrestle for the GPAC Conference School. In 2023, Siebert was a junior, ready to take on the season.
We had just finished our week of two-a-days that right before the season officially starts, and excited to get into another year. And was excited to get back on the mat and start working. And
it was day 2 of official practice. The team was warming up.
Right, and so I go to lift my partner, and my right foot kind of gets pinched in, and my toe gets stuck, kind of sticks in the mat, and my knee is pinched in towards the center of my body. The two of us go straight down on top of it, and that's like almost 600 pounds coming straight down. So everything just kind of popped.
Yes, we have our MCL here on the inside part of the knee. This here is the tibia. So in his case, he actually pulled an avulsa right off of the tibia. If we flip the knee open here, he tore right through the mid portion of his ACL. And then he tore through the mid portion of his PCL back here. And also this back part of the meniscus that attaches the bone, he ripped that up as well.
Dr. Joshua Locker is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine. He says this was an extensive injury and required surgery. The main goal, to get a stable knee back.
This big one here was the main where they did most of the work. And
so in his case, we could fix or repair the MCL, and then we reconstruct or basically give him a new PCL and ACL, and also repair that meniscus back down to the bone.
Dr. Locker said the rehab was essentially a balance of letting all those ligaments heal without them getting stretched out, but still getting his motion and his strength back at the same time. That process took more than 8 weeks, but Siebert had a goal set.
And when there's this much injury, to sometimes, life-altering. In his case, he's active in wrestling. Maybe not getting back to wrestling, maybe, but at least to coaching and stuff like that. And he, I remember the first time I saw him, he said he's getting married this summer, and him and his fiance at the time, dancing was really important to them. He was like, I really just want to be able to make sure I can be back to dancing for my wedding this summer.
And we got engaged swing dancing, and that was something we always did, it's for fun. And so that was a big deal for us to be able to do. And so time came and it felt good, and so we went with it. The re-injury risk is too high to be worth coming back to compete again for 1 year of NAIA collegiate athletics. Isn't worth a lifetime with my kids being able to run around, be on the floor doing stuff with them.
Siebert did return to the mat, not as a competitive wrestler, but to help lead and coach his teammates, assisting with technique guidance.
So it's been a lot of fun being able to be on the mat still and be with guys and just helping coach them up a little bit.
And a year later, after his surgery, Siebert is still assisting the team and working to fully heal from his substantial injury.